Josephine, a very beautiful 23-year-old lady. She lived and worked inside a cramped small room. A small room, too small for dreams that big. Her sewing machine sat only a few steps away from her bed. Josephine survives by sewing school uniforms and small asoebi jobs while hiding exhaustion behind polite smiles. Her customers like her because she barely talks and always delivers clean work. But every night, through the small dusty window beside her sewing machine, someone was watching. At first, Josephine thought he was just another restless boy wandering around the compound. The next day, the person was there again. One evening, he finally spoke and said, "Auntie, please teach me tailoring." The boy, Emmanuel, an orphan, had dropped out of school months earlier. But reluctantly, she accepted. And slowly, Emmanuel became part of her routine. Sweeping fabric scraps and watching quietly while she worked through the day. Still, something kept frustrating Josephine. People who delayed payments for weeks, yet demanded perfection overnight. So one afternoon, after months of saving small money, Josephine bought something she had avoided for years. A smartphone. With the help of Emmanuel, she began filming macro, satisfying close-up videos of her attires. At first, only a few people noticed. Then suddenly, somewhere far from Lagos, someone important did. A Nigerian cultural organization in London had been desperately searching for authentic handcrafted outfits for their annual gala. And somehow, inside thousands of videos online, they found Josephine. They wanted 15 handcrafted outfits. 15. Emmanuel refused to let her do it alone. The boy who once stood silently outside her dusty window had slowly become family. Shopping for fabrics with her. As the London deadline grew closer, pressure quietly entered the room. For weeks, their lives became nothing but fabric and fatigue. Sleep became shorter. But this time, the internet was watching. Thousands of views became millions. Others simply could not believe such clean handcrafted work was coming from a tiny rented room in Nigeria. Emmanuel remained beside her. Then finally, after weeks of exhaustion, the last outfit was complete. But standing quietly beside 15 completed handcrafted outfits, Josephine beamed with happiness and pride. The London organization confirmed delivery. 15 handcrafted outfits. Received exactly as requested. Followed by payment. It was the largest amount of money Josephine had ever seen in her life. She just sat there, staring at her phone, like she was afraid it might disappear if she blinked. Emmanuel looked at her and smiled. Josephine was no longer just a tailor surviving Lagos. Months later, Emmanuel remained beside her. She opened her first fashion shop because the room could no longer contain what she had become. Her phone did not stay silent anymore. It kept ringing, day and night. Orders, collaborations, brand inquiries. And Emmanuel. He became the one who handled client fittings. Who stood confidently in meetings with clients, explaining designs, with Josephine observing with pride. When people asked Josephine what her greatest achievement was, she would smile softly and say, it was giving someone a chance and watching what he became with it. The greatest investment is not money. It is believing in someone before the rest of the world does. Because years earlier, he was just a quiet boy standing outside a dusty window. And she was just a tired tailor trying to survive. Josephine gave a struggling boy an opportunity. And Emmanuel honored that opportunity with hard work, support and smiles. In fact, she no longer introduced him as her assistant. She simply called him my son. And one evening, Emmanuel surprised her. He handed her a framed photograph. On it were the words, "Thank you for seeing a future in me." For a moment, Josephine could not speak. She simply smiled through tears. Because the boy at the window had become the family she never knew she needed.